hat's not regularly poofy. It's just battling the hair underneath there, isn't it? Huh?
You get to a point in life, your hair just goes, I'm done. And it's just gonna lay there. So.
Kind of looking like Larry David over there with the glasses and everything,
And the same personality too, kind of the old grump,
Little grump. And you're the one that's got to let him know he's being an asshole to everybody.
Yeah.
My lips are sealed.
Well, because you went first and then he went on after, right?
See, here's the deal. He sets the table.
He's setting the table?
He sets the table.
Yeah, you're the main event?
Yeah, well, no, it's just that he's got a pretty good opening rap. And it's just the way that we did it. He wanted to go first, and okay.
How does it feel being considered the opener for this guy?
Well, somebody's got to do it,
Yeah.
I'd rather be on top than the bottom.
She's listening to us now.
Are we on?
Can I borrow this?
Yeah.
Just want to say thanks for coming in and covering this today. I don't know what's going on. Patch isn't here. He kind of just poof, he disappeared. So thanks for coming in, and
it's absolutely no problem, Rick. I'm glad to be here. I'm sure we'll get a rate worked out. We'll get a contract worked out after the show.
Yes, we will sit down and we will renegotiate everything.
Perfect.
I just thank you for coming in and covering today.
Hey, that's why you trust the system, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. Because you wouldn't want Rick interviewing you, would you? You think?
I don't know. Let's see what happens.
Come on, I thought we were going to be nice to each other here.
Hey,
okay?
I got to. All right.
So I'm going to let you get back to the interview, okay?
Oh, you don't want to do the intro? Seems like you know these guys pretty well.
Yeah, these guys they're good friends. They're good friends. Everybody's good friends.
You ever open for the opener for the main event here?
I have.
Oh, yeah? Where at?
I've been on the top of the top of the top.
Oh, the top of the top.
Yeah. Something like that. Anyway, way up there.
That's how Rick rolls.
Yeah, high.
on top of the top.
Anyway, I'm going to let you do the interview. I got customers everywhere, and I got to keep working.
I see that.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you, Rick. Rick Williams.
Yeah, thank you, Rick Williams. The system is back. That's my wrestler name. That you guys know me as true. Yep, I yell at the kids to trust the system, and as you can tell, that it goes over so well.
I think I saw it in Sioux City.
Sioux City?
Yeah.
What promotion?
I don't know. I just kind of staggered into the venue and.
I'm trying to remember. Sioux City, Iowa, or Sioux City, South Dakota. There's a lot of Sioux cities.
Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and
Falls.
Sioux City, Iowa.
Sioux City, Iowa.
Yeah.
Oh man, I feel like I would know because I've been down.
No, you've probably been pile drive so many times that it's scrambled.
I actually give pile drivers now. That's my new finish.
That's your deal?
Yeah. Well, see, my first 2 years, I never won nothing. But now I start picking up wins. I had to come to the conclusion this year of oh snap, what do I win with? What do I want to get? What do I want to piled? I'll just drop you on your head. That seems realistic,
Just be nice to everybody on your way up.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
And don't confuse what you do in the ring with what you're doing now. I don't want to be pile driven.
You don't want to be pile driven?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Well, that leaves you, brother. I'm sorry.
I can see you doing a half Nelson and all of a sudden going into an interview. How you doing down there?
Yeah, as you can see, I blame it on Rick. He brings it out of me. I try to be, what's Superman's real life name? I try to be the Tony Stark, not Iron Man. I'm Iron Man in the ring. I'm gonna be Tony Stark here, but I just see Rick and he eggs me on, and I just kind of want to, this table could go pretty easy,
Yeah.
We're waiting on it. He's tackled me. I've said some words, but we haven't broken any furniture in Prince Music Company yet.
Well, there's still time.
We've plenty more episodes to do.
I would imagine the mall's probably gonna be open for a little while longer.
It's not gonna happen on the Kirk and Lowe podcast, though.
Oh, jeez.
Because you thought you were the first one to say he came up right before. He's like, you're not gonna pile. You're not gonna hurt me or anything. Are you? You're a pro wrestler, right?
If you twisted my arm, it would probably turn to dust at this point in my life.
So Larry David, tell me where you get this hat at. I actually really love it.
Jack's.
At Jack's?
Yeah, it's a Jack's. It's good for bad hair.
Is it a bad hair or no hair? You covering up a bald spot underneath there, man?
No, but it's getting thin.
It's getting thinner?
Yeah.
I got you. What is that a specific kind of hat? It looks kind of like Frenchy French
Isn't it?
or something. Like it's like a
It's a
beret
newsboy, isn't it?
almost.
Yeah, I call it a newsboy hat.
A newsboy hat?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like a paper
Slouch-
boy.
A slouch hat.
Like an
yeah.
old-time
Yeah,
paper boy. You ever do that
exactly.
back in the day?
No. I saw years ago the drummer for Mitch Ryder and the Detroit Wheels. I'm sure the younger people have no idea who I'm talking about. But, yeah, the drummer, Banachek, he had one of these hats.
He had one of those hats?
And it's like, I want one of those.
He made it famous.
Yeah, well, caught my attention. So we started playing, and
I think
do
James
the rock and
Taylor
roll
is
thing,
wearing
so-
those hats now too.
what's that?
James Taylor wears hats
that
like
right?
that now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know who
Get to-
James Taylor is either.
You get to a certain age in life and you start wearing a hat.
No, hats are nice. She told me to take off mine. I don't know why she didn't tell her to take off yours,
got-
but
Bro, you got great hair.
I guess. Well, sometimes especially if I don't tan, I kind of like it blends in with my face, and if there's a bunch of lights on me, I just turn into a ghost.
Yeah.
That's what some photographers say to me. But
Free spirit.
indeed. So Kirk and Lowe, it's very, very interesting where you think you'd be together. It's like a Johnson and Son or something like that with the name, but one goes first and then the other goes second.
Yeah.
And you start off as, what was it, the Coffee House?
Coffee House All Stars.
Coffee House All-Stars.
Yeah. With John Seymour and TJ Plenke. And that kind of, we did that for a while, and it just kind of ran its course, and Jim and I ended up carrying on.
Was that strictly like coffee house productions then? You were only hitting up coffee houses with that?
No.
is that how the name came about?
No, when you're trying to play music, I don't care what kind of music, you play wherever you can. And Jim and I decided early on, we're going to play, because that's what makes you better. You can practice and rehearse, but you have to be able to produce in front of people. A lot of people are really good technically, but they don't know how to perform. And other people can perform really well, they don't play real well, but
No, I was
You
talking
blend the two
about it.
together.
I was talking about last night at a show. It's very similar with wrestling as well, where it's
Absolutely.
one thing to do these three moves, but then you also got to add in the in betweens. Could you let us in on the in betweens of like some things you see when between someone just playing and acknowledging the crowd, or like what's?
Well, I try not to really badmouth anybody, but I mean, the longer you do it, the more you notice, and it's actually beneficial to see other people play. I'm going to take that from them, or I'm not going to do that.
Of course.
So it's. I mean, you probably watch other wrestlers. You probably watch old films, whatnot.
All the time.
You pick up shtick.
That's right.
And that's part of performing. Some people tell stories. If Jim's in the right mood and the venue is right, he can rattle off a story that's really good. We do what we can.
I like it. We don't have to name names here too either. But what are some other things you shouldn't be doing at venues as an artist?
Well, have you ever seen Bob Dylan on stage?
On stage?
Don't do that.
Oh man, you're coming after my Iron Rangers here.
Yeah, well, no. When you're on stage, you're trying to make a connection with the audience. I mean, that's the whole point. I mean, you can get up there and you can just play your music, but if you're ignoring the audience, if you're not talking to them, if you're not bringing them in, then you're not really a performer. You're not really entertaining per se. Dylan gets away with it because he's Dylan. Let's face it. But
how sensitive is an audience for you? Because for me, I'd say like anything below 30 people in a crowd is a completely different atmosphere versus if I'm performing to over, there's the 30-50 range and then the 50-100. There's a lot of differences in even just those small variables. Is it the same when you guys are in like your coffee shops?
I can only speak for myself, but it's a lot more difficult to play to 5 people than it is 100 people, because with the more people, the more the vibes are coming back.
Of course.
And when you're playing to just a handful of people, it's hard to get anything going. It may not be your fault. You might be having one of the best gigs you ever have, but if nobody's reacting, it's like, oh God, please help.
Yeah, it's a little harder to get like 5 people to.
It's all part of the deal of playing live.
Of course. Yeah, it's a little harder to get like 5 people to start clapping along when there's only 5 people there. But
yeah, exactly.
a lot of times it's like those 5 people are your family too.
Well, we don't have that anymore because a lot of our families no longer around. we've been around a while, so.
That's right. How far do you guys go back then? Take me to the very beginning. When do you make the transition to professional, or I guess maybe even professional is the wrong word.
There's two sides to that. Number one, both of us, when we were very young, became professional performers, singers, songwriter, performers. I did it right out of college.
Where'd you go to college?
Huh?
Where'd you go to college?
University of Iowa.
University of Iowa. Oh no.
Harvard of the Midwest.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And and it was a great music scene in Iowa City. I mean, surprisingly great music scene. So as soon as I graduated, I didn't do anything with either of my degrees. I just went out on the road. Really pleased the parents. But I started out and I started playing, just going from town to town to town and playing lounges, coffee houses, bars, little concerts, whatever. And did that. And
were you able to sustain yourself?
Oh yeah,
off the
very
hustle?
well. Yeah.
When you're 22, 23 years old, there's nothing better than to go out and do, whether solo or with a group or whatever, because once you're out on the road, there's no rules, and you end up pretty much living in the nighttime, because that's when you perform, and then you go to parties or whatever. It's
it's
an entirely different sleep schedule than a 9 to 5.
Tell you,
it really is, and because most of the lounges that you'd play back then, you'd play till probably 1 o'clock in the morning. You start at 9, go to 1, and then you're kind of pumped up. You put your stuff away. Usually there's 2 or 3 people that have stuck around. You want to go out and have some breakfast or whatever, and I mean, you never went to bed much before 4. And
yeah, that's very true. I did rock bands, and after 4 sets, you're just wired, and it takes you several hours just to wind down.
Oh, I've had that too.
Yeah, of course, because you're pumping adrenaline for. How long does your matches last?
Normally about 5-10 minutes, really. But if you're a main event match, then you can go, damn near an hour if you want to. It depends on how many guys you got booked and everything like that.
Yeah.
But I'd say standard match, get your 8 minutes in.
Wow,
that's amazing.
A lot different than you guys. You got to carry out. What's the longest you guys have probably played, like a concert?
Give me the breakdown. What we played, the different hours.
Well, we've as Kirk and Lowe, we're not. I mean, we'll play 4 hours, maybe 5 hours at the longest. But I mean, we're playing. We split it up then in the 4 hours. I mean, he's taking 2 hours, I'm taking 2 hours, but we're going like.
The hack, you can go longer.
We'll go 40 or 45 minutes, and then he comes on 45 minutes, and I come on 40, so we go back and forth like that.
When we started together, we did a lot of 2-hour things, and that was fine, because I was building up a repertoire. I didn't have that much songs, so I was happy with 2 hours, but we do a lot of outdoor things, thank God, that they were allowed to do that. So 2 hours, 3 hours, or 4 hours is primarily what we do. And then it's like we either play, if it's 2 hours, we each play half hour, half hour, half hour, half hour, and get paid, go home. 3 hours, it's 40 minutes. We're not very good at math.
What's been your favorite environment to play in, looking back on it?
I've got this summer, almost bookends. Okay, so the whole country was locked down, and we've been playing this swap meet for a few years now, and they gave us the Memorial Day, the Saturday on Memorial Day weekend, and it's really early in the morning. And if you know anything about musicians, it's really difficult. But you
had to set an alarm.
Yeah, I mean, we had to,
snap.
You had to be ready to play by 9, right?
Right.
And it took an hour to get there, so do the math. But anyway, we played up there.
This is the Wright County swap meet, the biggest swap meet in the state. Biggest.
Yeah, it's
What is this doing? Wedged up against the bathroom. Really?
Rick, you got some wood in your hand. You should probably talk into the mic. If you get, why do you have wood in your hand?
Did you lock Patch in the bathroom? Come
I
on,
don't
man.
recall. I don't recall, man.
I go in the back and I find this wedged against the door.
I said, I've taken so many pile drivers, man. I don't really. Patch.
You know, first you hit
Good
me.
to see you, bro.
First you hit me.
Where'd
with
you
the van,
go?
Rick? And you make me sign a contract, right? And then this guy comes in here and he locks me in the bathroom. Man, you guys are just crazy. I'm out of here. The system sucks.
I don't. Okay, Rick. I don't know what you're doing, stealing hacksaw Jim Duggan's gimmick over here, holding your piece of wood. I do not know a single thing about locking Patch in the bathroom. You think I would never? I would never.
You didn't lock him in the bathroom. You guys lock him in the bathroom? No. All right, I don't know.
No,
man.
we got.
There's only one other person that's left.
But we still got a contract, right?
You know. And on that note, I'm gonna say thank you for joining us for another Sunday showcase.
Rick needs his own outro music and intro music.
Nothing like